All right, welcome to this new Q&A video. Again, this week, three new questions that I got from one of you guys on either my YouTube channel or in my Instagram in the DMs or the comments on my feed videos or photos. And this week, I've basically got back to also some older videos on YouTube where you guys basically had questions which I would like to elaborate on because I think that these questions might be also that more people have the same kind of question. So to directly dive into it, the first question that I got was from BLNKZ9690. It was basically asked already a month ago. And he's saying, I'm in this spot, but my main problem is figuring out what I want to do. That's gonna be the thing to bring in the money. So if you don't know yet, what you actually want to pursue and what you want to work on, then that's going to be the first thing to figure out, right? And that's what basically he is asking. So my suggestion with like all the things right now that are available on the internet, you see so many things, people screaming like even shit things right now that they can promise you all kind of like bullshit things. And I think the people who are actually willing to start online, they are basically misled. And that's going to be very honest. Starting, aspiring, or existing entrepreneurs are misled in a way that a lot of people are just out there on social media screaming bullshit things, sharing fake like stories or whatever it is to just capture attention, right? And this is a real thing. I've seen it as well when I basically started 5 years ago. That was not that hard, not that much as it is right now. But you want to be aware that you're not going to drive a Lamborghini in 2 weeks from now. So with that keeping in mind, you should not go after something that you think of, okay, this is going to bring me the most money. So about that, specifically elaborating on that question, the way how you see things right now about things you might consider to step into, you want to make sure that those things that you see, for example, with crypto stocks or whatever, is not going to make you rich, because there is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. That is super important to understand, so you actually make the right decision to step into a business model or something that you would like to step into, right? Not something that you think of, okay, this is going to make me the most money, because most likely that's not going to give you like that discipline and consistency, because you're doing things for the sake of money, which will never give you like that discipline to pursue in hard times. And that is definitely going to come. There's no business model out there, no stocks, no crypto, no get rich fancy quick schemes that will basically give you a lot of money without any struggle. Okay, there is going to be struggle, and if you would like to start something, I am 100% sure that you understand that that's going to occur. So the way how you step into it is maybe super important to also understand, and that you don't look at it as just the sake of money. You want to do something that you can actually grow in, right? That you can gain knowledge, and from that knowledge you can, from there on, gain a skill set. So once you've acquired money, like, or let's say knowledge, if you once you've acquired knowledge, you can then be like learn a skill set, right? That skill set, that is the thing that can make you money. But you need to be aware that you can never like step into like first learning a skill set without having any knowledge, or doing a skill set without having the knowledge, because you won't be able to monetize it. So it's super important for you to understand that you first learn something, so you're gonna step into something specifically that you want to know more about. So you gain that knowledge in order to then learn the skill set that can make you the money. Okay, and there's no other way around that. So it's first gaining knowledge, then gaining the skill set that can give you that money, it can give you the network, it can give you basically that, that thing that you need in order to generate and monetize it. So if you have the main problem is right now figuring out what you want to do that's going to bring in the money, I would first ask yourself a different question, what it would be that you would like to learn and you would like to step into. Maybe you have already considered different things. Maybe drop shipping, right? Maybe Amazon FBA, maybe retail, maybe sales, whatever it might be, where you think of, okay, this is something I definitely would like to learn more about, and 100% focus on that thing that you would like to learn more about in order to master it and to basically gain it as a skill set to then monetize it, right? There's not no such thing as, okay, I'm going to step into this business model to directly make money, because that's not going to happen. I can tell you that. There's always a learning process and a journey that's going to basically allow you to make money if you pursue. So this basically my answer to your question is to basically slightly reframe it and ask yourself the right question in order to get the right answer. Question number 2 from Flight Gamer 753 asked 2 weeks ago, what are the abundances that you're seeking in life right now? So my abundances that I'm seeking right now in my life are super different, of course, than I was like seeking, for example, 10 years ago. And what I will seek like in 10 years from now will also be different. So you should always be aware that the abundance that you're seeking in life is not something that is fixed. It's always fluctuating because you will have different goals, different things that you're focusing on right now, and maybe even in a week, or things will always change. And the things that I'm focusing on right now are basically related to my three core values, or let's say pillars, I like to focus on every single day, which are related, of course, to my family, to my fitness and health, let's say, and my business. So in terms of family, what I'm seeking right now is actually that I'm, right now, for example, I moved to Spain, right? I moved to Spain. I moved basically outside of my parents' basement, or let's say house, where I basically lived 22 years. Right now I'm 23 and I'm basically living right now here with my grandmother. And that is going to be like my home for like the next month until I will move into my own apartment. So the thing that I'm seeking right now on family level, let's say on personal level, are super different than it was just like maybe 6 months ago, because I don't have, let's say, too much of people around me every day, like I supposed to have when I was living with my parents. So in terms of personal, I haven't got like clear goals yet that I would say, okay, hey, these are the abundances I would like to face. But I can, for example, as I'm basically working on demand, I can work also, from my parents' basement again. I would like to visit them. And those are things that I would like to do every now and then, which have no fixed, let's say, time schedule. That's something I would like to do whenever I feel about it. So when I feel, okay, hey, I've been too long in this situation and basically environment right now, I would like to go there, then I'm basically am able to do that. And that is an abundancy that I have in terms of like that personal part, because I am able to go there and work from wherever I want, when I want, with who I want. That's basically an abundancy that I do have and that I actually really appreciate every single day, that I'm right now conscious and aware of. And in terms of fitness, like honestly, my abundance that I'm seeking right now there, I'm right now working towards my first marathon, which is going to be in Madrid in 1.5 weeks from now, on April 28th. Today's April 20 of 2024. And yeah, I'm actually super excited. I'm going to run my first marathon together with my brother. My brother is still in the Netherlands, but we keep each other accountable and very strictly actually on the work that we have done in our prep. So we are 100% ready for this prep and for the marathon itself. And that's something that I am super happy to have, let's say, be able to work on over the past weeks. And that's basically something that I would like to accomplish, right, at 42K. But besides that, being on top of my nutrition, so I am also able to get abundances in my business part, because that's basically a reflection of my personal and my physical health, right? So the abundances that I'm seeking right now in terms of fitness is to be on top of my nutrition for the marathon with, for example, enough carbs and everything that I'm consuming, so I'm able to perform. But that's basically part of fitness will be super different, let's say in 2 weeks from now when my marathon is done, where I would maybe like to grow a bit more muscle again. And that's something that I've seen right now, that my goals are super different than they were also before the marathon, because I love running way more than I used to, let's say I love it earlier. And in terms of business, the abundances that I'm seeking there right now are actually super direct, like straightforward. I'm right now working on two main projects, actually three. The first one is going to be, of course, my dropshipping business that is running on autopilot. Like to just have that and keep that like growing every single month. Right now, I'm doing anywhere. Last month, for example, March, I did 165K in sales, and this month I basically had a bit more problem because I needed to transition my company from the Netherlands to Spain as well, and I was still running it on my Dutch account. So right now I'm basically standing still with that store, which is quite unfortunate because we were like pacing towards the 10K days, which is of course really good. But right now we are standing still, so we are not making progress anymore. So that is something right now, just also super raw, that I am facing right now in terms of trouble. And the abundance that I'm basically seeking for in that part is to get that back on track as soon as possible. Is right now in process to also be able to launch my brand as my second focus point for business by the end of this year. That's right now in process. The third one is actually, of course, to help as well my clients who I'm helping this doing the same thing to grow. And I right now have basically made a plan with my team, my consulting team, to help them to achieve bigger results and bigger goals this month, but also moving forward from May onwards with some very nice features that are coming up, which I cannot share yet. But those are some things that I'm working on right now, abundances for myself, the people around me, and the people I work with, in order to continuously, let's say, improve and work on myself. So I hope that answered your question, Flight Gamer. Those are some of the abundances that I'm seeking right now in my life. And then question 3 from Timur Kawar. It was basically during the Q&A last week, and he asked me, how do you manage work-life balance? So this is a question I got a lot lately. How I manage my life and work balance is actually quite simple. In the beginning of this year, I had 3 pillars I would like to focus on, as you might know: personal, business, and fitness. Those 3 things I basically wrote down for myself. Okay, what are the most important things I would like to achieve within these pillars? Those things I wrote down on my calendar when I would like to have, let's say, that achieved within this year. When I would like to have achieved that, when I basically set my end goal, then I can basically work from the end backwards. So I basically set my goal on the date I would like to achieve my goal. I basically reflect and schedule my entire schedule backwards in order to fit it in. And how basically I do manage that accordingly is by looking at, okay, what are the most important things, right? That will get me towards that goal the fastest way possible. I schedule those important events in my calendar, and those become, let's say, non-negotiables in my year. And all around, let's say, the most important things, my non-negotiables that I would like to do and that I need to do in order to achieve that goal, I can basically schedule the less important things in. How do I manage that? Is by actually scheduling my entire work and entire events that will come up in advance, so that I will be able to, let's say, work from that goal backwards to then schedule all the less important things around it so I can fit everything in. So if you would have, for example, a bottle, right? And I would fill this entire bottle with like stones. And I would first fill it up with like very like small stones. And then I would put the big bricks in it. Then there will be less that will fit in this bottle. Then I would first put the most important, the big bricks in it. And then the smaller stones. Because all these smaller stones are basically able to adapt their environment. So if I would be, for example, for my goal, I would first put in the brick here, the biggest brick, my most important event that I would like to focus on. Then these smaller events, this let's say the smaller stones, would fit in this bottle perfectly because they are able to adapt and get in based on besides, let's say, the most important events that I already have scheduled. So it's super important to understand that you need to first understand what are, let's say, the most important things you would like to focus on, for example, your life work balance, like you asked. What are the things that are important to you in terms of work and life? And then you can fit in, let's say, your most important, let's say, things you would like to accomplish. And maybe your life, if that's maybe less important, the things less important to that specific topic, you can fit in accordingly based on the schedule that you've already created. So if you do it that way, you're able to manage that all the important things in your life will be able to fit in your calendar. And then you can even add the other things in which are, let's say, less important, but maybe still important enough to you. So you can still get those done. So about your question, how you manage that properly is by looking what are the things you would like to do as a non-negotiable, to then reflect backwards and schedule backwards what would fit in that time schedule in order to accomplish it, with first the big bricks and then the smaller ones, to, let's say, have everything fit in. That way, I am 100% sure you will be able to get more out of the 24 hours in a day, the 7 days in a week, and let's say the 30 or 31 days in a month than you would ever think. So that's basically how I do it. I hope it was helpful to you as well, and to everyone else also hearing about this question and my answer to it. These were basically the 3 questions that I had for this week. I hope it was valuable. Maybe you know someone who could also benefit from one of the questions that I basically have answered right now, feel free to share it to them as well. And then I would love to see your questions maybe in the comments below, so I can elaborate on those comments as well. And looking forward to see you guys in the next video. Peace.